Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Hollywood peoples. Let's get it. Let me talk to him. Yeah. Pistols up in the air. Yeah. Pistols up and they flare. Fit for dump and I heat them up. Lift them out of that chair. 100 rounds in that drum clip. Couple pounds in that trunk sit. Few G's in that new beat. Turn it down in that front flip. Fresh out and I'm back home. Chest out and I'm back home. Best route, get your vest out. Few hits in that backyard. New bitch in that cash home. Hit my jack for that fast loan. Take it back of that 80 flat. 2 clips in that mask though. Back to serving them fiends though. Back to earning that green hoe. Carnivore for that audible. Bullet fly with that beam though. Pull around on that scene slow. Back out and I lean low. Fast out to that trap house. Mac out and that thing blow. Black out with my team, no. We prepared and we all here. Triggers pressing your niggas straight. Spell of death in that warfare. Couple texts and they all share. Air holes in that front nose. Double clip in that rubber grip. Get the pistol now dumped over. We got it. Ain't no stopping the 100 niggas with guns on them. We don't wanna crawl from them. Nigga, let it blow. Ain't no stopping the 100 shells from one direction. My homie strapped, I hope you crawl away. My nigga, let it go. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Yeah, pistols up in the air. Let it pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Yeah, pistols up in the air. Let it go. Ain't no blocking these 100 rounds. Ain't no watching, we cut them down. Crunch time when I dump mine. Ain't no stopping, we running town. 16 in that black block. Shit mean on that back block. Drug wars with them drug laws and them bitches fiend for that crack rock. Coke fiends in that white bitch. Don't lean in that slight itch. All over this cold green. I done sold dreams for that right bitch. 38 be my best friend. 30 weight in that West End. Dead cop when that leg pop. Headshot with your vest in. Smith and West in that waistband. Just a mess in that wasteland. Hammers ripped with the banana clips and you pray to God that they take jam. Never that never clap. Left head in that long shit. No fear when there's folks near. We never scared of that long beard. 25 of that L shit. Couple die when them shells spit. Shout the homies that do the time when they do the crime, they don't tell shit. This the anthem, they got guns. Fully Yodas and shotguns. Grip the buck, your pistol tuck. Lift it up, you got one and I'm gone. Ain't no stopping the 100 niggas with guns on them. We don't wanna crawl from them. Nigga, let it blow. Ain't no stopping the 100 shells from one direction. My homie strapped, I hope you crawl away. My nigga, let it go. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Yeah, pistols up in the air. Let it blow. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Yeah, pistols up in the air. Let it go. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Yeah, pistols up in the air. Let it blow. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air. Pistols up in the air.
Salute, man. Waiting on Blair to pull up, man. So I'm gonna send him the link. Just kicking in and chilling to the guests of honor pull up because I got some questions. I'm right here. I ain't nowhere. I'm right here. Just waiting to see how long before he pull up, and then if he have any technical difficulties. Let me see. How long ago was it? Hit on. Let me see. I hope he does it on his laptop or something, because doing it on the phone is the worst. That shit is 20 minutes. That shit before that shit kills your phone. Body.
Man, salute, Cobb.
What's good? What's good, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How was your day?
It was pretty good. Pretty good. Once I have been having a few bad ones, so it was pretty good.
Y'all take what you can get, huh?
That's it, man. That's all you can ever do. Turn it up.
You get to see some of that weigh in and stuff.
Well, from the day I didn't watch the weigh-ins. I watched the stuff. The stuff from yesterday was funny because Devin just can't. He can't stay away from talking to Ryan. He can't. He said he focused. It don't look like that.
You know, Rolly came out and said something about that. He's basically saying it's not how you do business because they basically promoting the next fight. He was like, man, this is a fight now. He's like, even though I don't care about that, he's like, but they acting like this is all a build up for the next fight. So he might be feeling like he overlooked.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that because they ain't talking to him at all. Like they're just talking around Rolly. Like Rolly's not even in the promo commercial. It's basically Devin and Ryan. Like that's just supposed to be for the next fight. Y'all already running that?
Yeah. It's a little weird to me, man, because when you think about it, like that debacle happened on 420 and we saw it, right? But then we know we got put to a no contest and Rolly lost the dub. I mean, and Ryan lost the dub. But after a year, he come back and he getting a title shot for the WBO interim joint. And Dev is put at number 1 at 147. And he ain't even, I mean, it's technically it is because anything above 140 is 147, but it's at a catch weight, and it's like that's kind of weird.
Well, I think they're saying that Ryan's fighting for him and Rolly fighting for the WBA regular.
Yeah.
The regular, so
the regular.
That could lead to a boots fight.
But in the grand scheme of things, where it's like, oh my gosh, like, how could you, Ryan? He's a cheater. He's this. To come back and get put in that spot to be able to fight for that, and for Dev to be ranked number 1, like that's kind of weird to me. I don't know, man. I mean, if anybody, people complain about Rolly getting another bite at the apple after getting knocked out, moving up and getting another shot. But like, I ain't never. This is unprecedented. So long story short, man, anything can happen when certain people are running shit, man. Anything can happen.
If people want to see that fight, we wanted to see the fight. So I mean, she put it on in grand fashion. That's all I can. That's the best way I can try to say it.
I'm still trying to peg how I see Jose, man. He look, even like, if you look at that weigh-in, if you look at his posture and stuff, it's like he sound. I mean, I don't know, man. He sound a little punchy to me, man. I don't know, but
he said he's not a talker.
Yeah.
He said he's not a talker.
And Devin, as much as they say they be wanting to play that villain.
There you go. Hey, Blair, how you like that? You like that right there? You like that? That
What?
thumbnail right there? Can you see it?
Oh yeah, that shit look dope.
Salute, Blair.
Blair, what's
What's up,
going
you
on,
guys?
big dog? What's going on, man?
What up, you guys? It's Blair the Flair. Tuning into the smoke session, episode 657. Let's go.
So, Blair, already you already know you said you had something in the cooking and the waiting. You was waiting it just to reveal it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still have things cooking. You know, I'm still waiting to get some really big news of the next big fight. I got a really good manager. I just signed on to Napper, which is Nova Sports Management. They're doing very, very big things. Recently, they just pulled off one of the biggest fights in the UK in a long time, if not the biggest ever. And they're doing really well, you know. So I got ends to work with Turkey Al Sheik and work with all the top promoters and possibly make some very, very big things happen, some very big fights coming.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And you know, I'm like this guy that like I will try my best until it all falls down, you know. So
Here's with the Kanye West. I'm telling you now.
yeah, I'll sponsor the hoe until she's no more. Like so so basically, you know, the whole situation is Don King just not able to produce after a full year. I gave him a whole year. What more could you get? What more could you want from me? You know what I mean? A year is a lot of time for somebody like me. You know what I mean? Goddamn, I just took 2 years off right before the Adrian Broner fight. Jesus Christ. You know, we need to get moving. Every time I get these big giant fights and produce beyond wonders and beliefs, then there's nothing that comes out of it. So it's about time to make something big happen. So here we are.
So, hey man, ain't nothing wrong with, hey man, you got to cut bait and do what you got to do, because
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of fights finna be damn out there that your name, like we just keep hearing your name, especially in this welterweight division.
Yeah, and it's just needs to be something happening. It needs to be something happening. It needs to be some world titles happening. I should have a world title under my belt. I should be fighting big fights for millions under my belt. I should be an attraction, and sooner or later, I should be the face of boxing. Um, so like, there's a lot of things going on, and finally, I got the right management. Now, the last management, they did good in the beginning, but then it just wasn't working out. We like, and honestly, it's the management that's really messing me up. You know, like yo, and I get it. Like he's keeping me alive, but then like, are you just gonna keep me on life support and not actually like let me get
Yeah,
out there and run the
yeah.
race?
You
You
don't
know?
want to let you run the race. Can't
Yeah.
give me anything. It's like no disrespect or nothing, but I need to get with somebody who can. I need to get with some movers and some shakers. You just, you know what I'm saying? You just got me sitting around.
Yeah, like I just come to realize that like before I thought that I had a whole lot of hope in the old people like that's been around to do something, that's done something, but now it's like more so maybe old isn't better. Like older, like that old promoter Don King, he ain't really able to do nothing. He and
He ain't
like really
available.
he's way over his head dealing with a fighter like me that's on the cusp of greatness, and he cannot do anything but hold me back, unfortunately. And that's exactly what it was for management as well, unfortunately.
Oh, he
I
ain't.
give you an A for effort, Blair, because you was, man, patience and trying to make it work, man. And you gave it as much time as you can, man. I'm glad you was able to get out of that situation, man, because we talk about this several times where it's like soon as you get your momentum, fight, you gain all that momentum, and when it's time to capitalize on it, like 90 to 120 days later, it's no fight. And then it's like, okay, well, we
Oh,
in talks and we
flat
making
tire.
these moves, and it's nothing. But I wanted to ask you about because you even behind the scenes, I seen you making moves, and I wanted to ask you, how was it going to the you followed through what you said as far as going to the those sanctioning bodies? Didn't you go down there with the sanctioning bodies and link up? How was that experience? What happened? Did anything come out of that?
Yeah, I went to two, I believe. Yeah, I went to two, and Don said that they went to the WBA in Florida. I don't know if they did or not. I have to check the rankings, but I'm hoping that he actually did something, because honestly, it was just me doing everything alone, and going to Germany, going to Puerto Rico, and getting with these sanctioning bodies, and mingling, creating the atmosphere, and the partnership with these people to make something better happen, and hopefully get me in higher ranking. The WBA worked out very well. I mean, no, it was the WBO. The WBO worked out really well, and the WBC was pretty good too. It's just there's a lot of politics going on with the WBC, where they say that they want more activity. So I brought that to Don King, and obviously they're not able to produce activity. I brought that to my management, and I asked them, "Hey, we need to be involved," and they weren't able to produce that activity. And the funny thing is, while I'm going through all these events and showing up at all these events, Napper's there. He's working. He's working. He's here, there, and everywhere. He shows up in my own hometown for fights with Top Rank or this or that, or Golden Boy. He's always around. So I'm like, hey man, and we always develop this relationship. And he's like, yeah man, well, hey man, if you ever need some help, let me know. I'm definitely there. And I start to just sit back and watch him unfold with his fighters, which he's done very well with. Now, granted, a lot of those fighters were B-side fighters, but it only takes one good fighter to be a B-side fighter and then turn into a megastar. I mean, that's how Manny Pacquiao became, and that's how Flair will. I've constantly became this B-side fighter that's constantly beat the odds and won, and like, this is the underdog story that I believe the people need to see. So we need to get out there to the crowd. We need to get these big fights and these big names. Get out there to the
Ohio.
Ohio runs boxing.
What's
What's
going
good,
on?
guys?
What's going on?
What's good?
Good, Ohio.
See my guy Blair on, man. That's what we hop on tonight, man. I see he dropping some jewels, man. I hate the politics of boxing, man. Being behind closed doors and seeing how this work, man. Blair put on a good performance against my boy AB. It was first time meeting him down there in Florida. And one thing I didn't, the feel I had for that fight was, it seemed like it was all designed for, they had moves ready for Adrian Broner. If he won the fight. Like, I don't think he'll probably be in a big fight or something like that. It's always, that's the feel I have for it. You won very convincingly. And this is the point I was talking about, where guys don't get the opportunities they deserve. You know what I mean? It's like
they wanted to give Adrian Broner to Devin Haney.
Yeah.
And produce something with Devin Haney, sell him off to Devin Haney, and it didn't work out. And yeah, like, it's like, bro, like, Devin Haney already had everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
one thing
they would talk, they like, we rolled up on me in the gym. He's like, oh man, I saw what you did, blase blase. Yeah, you took money off our table though. I'm like, motherfucker, you been had money though.
Right.
Like, money off your table, motherfucker. I've been dying for an opportunity. You had your opportunity.
Right.
I'm taking the straps, and you eating full course meals. Come on,
like, this is my weight class. You was at 130s last time I checked. 140, okay. But now when you're up here, we gotta cross paths sooner or later. I'm taking the Broner fight. You know what I'm saying? Against all odds, I'll make a motherfucker believe he could beat me until he get in that ring. You know, they thought I was really off because I had 2 years off.
Mm-hmm.
But then I showed up. It's like psych. Gotcha, nigga.
Blair, let me ask you this. What do you think about Devin being ranked number 1 in the WBC?
Oh, that's like incredibly disrespectful to like all of us. And like, why? Why is Devin Haney ranked number 1 for getting his ass whooped in the 140 division against Ryan Garcia? And then he makes one step up to 47 against all of these top contenders. You want to rank Devin Haney off a loss?
Number 1 in the WBC.
Number 1, and that's crazy. You know, it's just it's crazy. That's when I just realized, you know, it's a lot of politics. When they were talking to me about like, oh yeah, we need to see some activity. I just fought 2 ex-world champions. Nobody else done it in the top 10 in the welterweight division. And then check this out. I looked down the line of a couple fighters, you know, because they wanted me to be more active. The person with the WBC silver title, which should be ranked number 1 technically, is he ain't fighting like 2 years.
What's his name?
Jamal
Hold
James?
up. How does he even still have
Jamal James? Who is it? Who I think you talking about the entrant? Yeah, I forgot
Is
who
it Jamal?
It's like some African dude or something. I don't know. But I'm like, how does he have the silver title still? You know, like
this is why I tell them all the
silver
time.
title needs to be mine today. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because they got you ranked 12th in the WBO.
Yeah, I should be fighting any old Joe Schmo bum and just go ahead and slide that silver title to me. I mean, it was supposed to be mine in the beginning for a long time. I was like, after this the Caribbean fight, I was supposed to fight what's his name? World Kid Ali, Saddam Ali.
Saddam out of New York.
Yeah, I was supposed to fight Saddam. And like, I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's get it. I'm gonna knock this motherfucker out. And then my managers and stuff is like, oh yeah, no, man, look, you just had a big fight. Golden Boys want to take care of you. Blase, blase, blase. No, the fuck they didn't. And no, the fuck they wasn't. I could have just gone ahead and took that silver title along with the damn junior and NABF title I just won. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be mine. They lost it. They lost it anyway. Saddam lost to a scrub with like, like, you know what I mean? And then like that scrub just ended up losing his title too.
Yeah.
The belt went on a
Yeah, and it kind of went on a hiatus, just belt jumping, you know, and so I don't know. It's
let me ask you a question, Blair. Did you know Broner was ranked in the top 10 when you beat him for the WBA? Did you know he was ranked number 8 by the WBA?
You know what? No, but I knew that it's Adrian Broner, y'all. Like, you know,
AB, yeah, you know, but when
do they have me ranked in WBA? Like, what the
no.
fuck?
I'm gonna say the reason why I brought that, I was the one, you know, I cover Ohio fighters, so I posted that because I was covering that leading up to the fight. It surprised me because he came out of nowhere, and I don't know. And what you said earlier before I hopped on, you said Don King is going to talk to the WBA. I think he probably has some leverage where he was able to move Broner that high, and if Broner beat you, he would have leapfrogged the other 6 guys that was in the WBA. If you know, and then fight for a vacant belt or whoever, you know, that was right there would have been a world title, or Devin again, like you said, Devin. But that was just showing you how the rankings is manipulated in business and how they talk. You know, it's all about politics, and I hate it. It's not the rankings is not fair. It's
politics not and money, bro. I kind of look more at the world rankings because that may say something a bit different based on popularity and who you beat or whatever. But these big, you know, these big 4 rankings, we saw how crazy shit moved with Keith Thurman. He moved in a WBO all the way up to the number 3 spot, actually the number 2 spot, and never fought for anything concerning the WBO. We saw it with Rolly Romero, how he goes down, gets knocked out by Tank, and then is automatically still number 1 ranked, and he gets that championship fight after getting knocked the fuck out. So it's like
being with sometimes the benefits being with those big promotional companies, but even though sometimes those fighters don't even get fair shakes, depending on where they at on that roster, or
yeah, if you on the roster and they say I want to put money behind you, that money behind you means getting you based off of a notable win. Now it doesn't have to be against the toughest competition, but just a notable name. I could purchase your number 2, 3 spot or anything between 5 and up. I could purchase that slot for you and then have you move in a certain way where they're saying, yeah, he's the number 1 ranked guy, or look at after this victory, look at how it propelled him. And it's like that was just a name, that wasn't talent. Come on.
Let me ask you this, Blair. You said that the WBA was talking about you being they wanted you to be more active. Is that what you said? They were
WBC.
The WBC was
bringing. Like I went to Germany to actually get the belt that Don was supposed to give me, but I never got it because they never expected me to win.
Oh,
it had Adrian Broner's name written all over it.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I'm like, hold up, where's my belt? They never gave it to me, so I had to actually pick it up from the actual convention from Suleiman myself, and like it's the People's Champion belt. That's pretty big, and then honestly, that's only right. Technically, like the biggest star and biggest attraction in the welterweight division was Adrian Broner. If it wasn't Floyd Mayweather, you know. And,
when they come to star power, and
he beat him.
So then you had somebody that had just as much charisma and flamboyancy to create that drama, fight him for a champion belt. It made sense, you know. Like why can't I get ranking, you know? And I talked about that stuff with the WBC, and they kind of just wanted to slide me as far away from Mario Barrios as possible.
Oh man, I got a question.
I like that fight.
What do you think about Mario Barrios? And I'm hearing Manny Pacquiao out of nowhere.
Trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
definitely trash. Who said that shit?
Hey, I've been quiet. Hey, Blair, man. My name's Big J, man. You can just call me Big J. I'm a young fighter, bro. But I heard that
Big
shit.
J.
I said trash. Trash.
I heard,
my bad.
Been hearing that because I'm like, okay, you're not even gonna. You're not gonna fight Devin Haney no time soon. He just number 1 for no reason. You're not gonna fight Conor Ben. I'm hearing Manny Pacquiao out of nowhere.
So what's going on with Conor Ben? Why can't Blair get the Conor Ben fight? They trying to move Conor Ben funny right now?
They're trying to get him to fight that second fight with Eubank. That's what I've been hearing.
that was big. So I
saw the fight and I thought, you know what, that fight's gonna happen again, I think. And so I just kind of just like pulled off the gas on Conor Ben. Not to mention, you know, that was some such shit. You ever saw a motherfucker that had that much gas? He threw so many heavy punches, to which he missed 90% of them.
Oh man! He said he threw.
Gas. I'm like,
he said that ain't. He was on top left. He had some octane.
To be fair,
I'm like, yo, man, we need to check his blood. I need a blood sample. I need a urine sample. I need to check his gloves. I need to check the water. Like, you know what I mean? Because that was incredible. It was very impressive.
Yeah.
He looked way smart. Like you know, like I know they said on the scale like he was 165, but on fight night, man, Chris just looked so much bigger. I mean, it was like, I don't know. The fact that he didn't get dropped, there were so many times where I was like, ooh, shit. Especially in the later rounds, I was like, oh, shit. He stood there.
Yeah, so. Eubank is the crazy thing, right, is that Eubank's supposed to be the bigger guy. But then Conor Ben is the one that's hurting Eubank.
Yeah.
We're over here like, hold up. I hope Eubank don't get knocked out because he's winning the fight. Like, you know.
Oh man, those two weight rehydrations he had to deal with.
Yeah.
Not a game. Not a game.
Yeah.
He couldn't be more than 175.
And that's why
they pay the most just for like a point.
I know.
something pounds.
500,000 paid for that.
Man,
Yeah,
I'm
but for
shocked.
like, yeah, but this is why they try. Well, I'm just hearing they're saying that I don't know if the rematch is a good idea for neither one of these guys. You
Gosh.
feel what I'm saying? I get it where it's concerning Eubanks because of the rehydration and how they manipulated him being able to come in 100% for him to where
Yeah.
they wanted it just to be a fair fight for Conor Benn, and I'm like, why?
Fuck all that, man.
Chris
You want to fight
Eubanks is a
damn
natural.
middleweight.
He's been fighting at 160 pounds. You feel what I'm saying? So why now is he struggling? I was just asking myself the question: why now is he struggling with the weight? And then I said, okay, they must have did a lot of fucked up things in that contract to where he can't do X, Y, and Z or whatever
IBF
because
rules. Get him with
they
the
trying to make it a
And
fair fight for Conor Benn for whatever.
IBF rules.
and
The next day.
he's like 35 on top of that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He's not like no young like spring chicken. He's 35 and
He's like 8 years older than them, kind of man, like that.
yeah.
It might be time for him to move up too, though, man. That might be the case too. I mean, he was
I mean, I
really
agree
trying.
with you. I agree
Might
with
be
you.
time.
Nah, he was talking about moving up to 168 before the Conor Benn fight. He was
He
like,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's talking about going up to 168. And I was like, oh, that might be an interesting mix to have Eubanks go up there. You feel what I'm saying? But then the Conor Benn come around. And I was just a little confused, like, wait a minute. So he's staying at 160? So they was talking about
Nah, it's just big money. Just big money. Big money.
I'm gonna say this though about the Blair and Barrios. I didn't even think about that till you said that, Blair. I think that would have been a great fight for you and you against Barrios, man. I think you definitely could have beat Barrios. I think this Manny Pacquiao fight, to be honest. I think I told Rob about it. What my views on it was. I definitely, as a fan, I don't like the fight, but I'm looking at it from a visor point of view, a management. I think they don't have confidence in Barrios to stay winning, winning multiple title defenses. So they don't have. He went life and death on Jake Paul's undercard in his first title defense after being elevated. So what do you do when you have a fighter like that you can't trust? You cash him out. So I
It's
think
just
so why not cash him out? Why
it's
not
all
cash
about
him
it's
out
all
with a
about
Blair
I think
or a Brian Norman Jr.?
no, but here, hold on. I'm gonna ask that question because if I can cash him out on the same side of the street, we still win.
Yeah, but now you got Pacquiao.
Hold on.
Like Pacquiao is gonna come in there like a prima fucking donna. Pacquiao's not fighting. Pacquiao is not getting in there with Brian Norman Jr. or
No,
Boots.
but you see, you missing my
Pacquiao
point. That's the whole
$13
point
million
is
to fight me,
the whole
dude.
hold on. The whole point of this is you got to
Right.
look at the scenarios before it happened. If Barrios win, he's going to be in a situation where they're like, hey, you can do a unification with Boots. Nah, we might drop the 147 belt and go up and fight Spence, Tim, or anything. We're going to keep it on that side. Why would I cross the street and give other people a favor? That's what you got, that because other promotional companies ain't doing it unless they know they're the A side with the better opposition. So I'm looking at it from the same way Top Rank, Golden Boy, and all those other guys will look at it. So it's more of a position where they trying to keep it in-house. They don't have confidence in Barrios. That's why they trying to get him a big fight.
Because whoever gets to Barrios is being Barrios. Barrios is the
And
weakest
that's the
link,
point.
bro.
It's a race. That's what I was talking prior
The
to
race
that. I
to
was
Barrios
saying,
right now.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I said the race for every one of the champions at 47, Barrios is the trophy. You got to run that race to get the Barrio. You get the Barrio, you start to control that shit.
And you
If
get
you
the
can't
best
get the
prize.
Barrio, you're gonna be stuck
But the thing is,
defending mandatories and shit.
You know who's the closest to Barrios?
Who?
Devin Haney and Golden Boy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I could see
Golden
that.
Boy figures a way to manipulate his fighters, his Mexican fighters, because even though I had the exact same belts and won exact same titles as Cudiel, how the fuck he get all the way up to like rank 3? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'll out of Cudiel. I've been beating his ass since wild card days. But you know, that's just what it is. You know, it's wild right now. So It ain't like it's all politics.
It's
You
an
know?
It's an illusion
A
to
lot of
make you think
That's the
racism
that.
play.
going on, but it's also a lot of political play that's going on.
Exactly.
Golden Boy moves people that they want to move. They don't
Mhm.
necessarily move the winners.
I
Hey,
said,
Blair,
Me and Rashidi would be pretty far, man. You
let me ask you something, Blair. Your new guy, the guy you now affiliated with, Napper. Who does he work with?
He's the guy that got him and his team. Got Chris Eubank $10 million, while a very, very good promoter got Conor Benn 7. And that's coming from like Conor Benn's undefeated and coming with a big name just as well. And somehow they still get less. You know,
Is he affiliated with any organization? Like he's not affiliated with none of these sides of the streets or anything like that. He can go. You can go wherever still.
yeah, whatever, any and every promotion. And also he holds a lot of weight in Europe. So I'm gonna be building my fan base in Europe, building my UK fan base. I'm gonna be out there. There is a title I should be getting pretty soon. You know, I don't want to say no names just yet, but there is gonna be some big things happening. And
Can I ask you this question?
Bring back home.
Blair, I wanted to ask you this question. Basically, if you're looking at exactly, you knew where I was going with it. Whoever just said it, I was like, listen, even if you go looking to do your thing in Europe, are you really going to try to press for that IBO belt? Because that should come with some status over there. See that? Oh, that's it. Oh, look at that smile. That smile just looks. Yeah. Yo, look at this nigga just gave the most sinister smile in the fucking world, bro. Like,
I'm just saying, man. Like you can. When he said he wasn't gonna say no names, I was like, that sounds like a field bill. I didn't mean to say shit out loud like that, but
that's a good move.
Let's just put it like this: I knock that shit off. I get a world title, and be ranked top 4 in the world, top 3, top 4, top 5 in the world.
Out of all welterweights,
out of all,
not just in a section about
that IBO belt is a legit. That's a legit belt to get you on a Riyadh card. That's a legit belt to get you on anybody's fucking card, especially fighting outside of them European dudes.
Leverage for, let's say, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, because that IBO belt come with people who are going to follow out of the USA. They gonna follow. Excuse me. They gonna follow the IBF champion.
Yeah, you go.
We got things working in the mix. So I don't want to say
I don't want to say too. I don't want to go too much in that.
I'm gonna mute up. I said enough.
Blair, let me ask you this though. Do you think Boot's gonna be at 147 too much longer, or they gonna ISO him out?
I don't know. I think he'll be leaving soon, but I don't know. I really don't know. I can't really place too much judgment. If I grab some belts, which could happen very soon, you know, things could go sideways real fast. WBC belt could be in my hands, and the next thing you know, he's like, you know what? We're moving up weight classes, just like last time. I pull up to the post conference. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up?
WBC
like,
is calling for you.
We're gonna move up in weight class, and then fucking Virgil's like, bet. And he's like, yeah, no, we're staying back down. Get your bitch ass out of here.
You funny.
I got a name for you though, Blair.
No, that's exactly what happened though. Y'all did y'all see that shit?
Yeah, we saw it. That's gonna lead me to my question.
Conference, literally the day of the fight, you know what I mean? I call them out. They really have no real reason not to fight me. They're trying to make up some excuses. You know what I mean? And you know what they say? Oh, we're going to go up weight class. We're leaving the weight class. And then swiftly after, change their mind because Virgil said, yeah, let's go. Like,
Yeah, and they offered Charles at 154. They was going to go to 154, and then I think his performance with Karen changed his mind, where he just wanted to stay at 147. I don't think he thought he was ready for 154 at that time after the Karen performance, because he thought he was gonna get the knockout in the second fight, but he didn't. But
then you offer Karen to Blair instead
That's
of
what I was getting at. That's the name. That's what I was gonna say, Blair. Remember when Eddie said, "Well, you can fight. You can have Karen." You know, remember when Eddie pulled that?
yeah, I said bet, and then like you know what I mean, and I also tried to call him up on it, like, okay, can I get this in paper? Can I get this written down? Can we make this real?
What did he say?
You know.
What did he say?
To which he says absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Like it was just all hearsay. Didn't want to say anything about it. Definitely didn't want to put it too much thought into it. Just wanted to brush me under the rug. But Blair can't just be brushed under the rug. I'm a bad fungus, man. I'll just keep coming back, man. So you know again, I'm here. You know,
pretty much confirms what Chris Eubank said about him. He's a scumbag. But anyway,
I can't say he's a scumbag, you know what I mean? Because I think that he's a great promoter. But hey, man, he's a promoter.
If you're his guy, if you're on his side and you sign him, yeah, he's a great promoter. But if not,
yeah, he gonna sit you on that damn show.
Fuck you then, but hey.
So the race to Barrios, this back to that shit, right? Because that shit just
race to Barrios.
Hey, the WBA, that belt is calling for anybody. That belt is
going to one fighter, and one fighter only is going to fight for that belt. It's going to be Devin Haney. They turned down the Boots fight. They don't want Brian Norman. They want Devin Haney.
But he's still gonna fight Ryan. He's gonna fight Ryan Garcia first.
Nah, I don't think so, bro. That's what I'm saying. Yo, looking at what the WBA is doing right now, how do you double mandate one fighter? Give them 2 mandatories back to back.
But wait, hold on. Ryan can't fight for the WBC
is paying a lot to everybody around him, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to bet that like if Devin didn't get knocked down so bad and just be crawling out the canvas, he probably would have won that fight. Even the judges was in his pockets. You know what I'm saying? It was just so bad that they couldn't rob fucking Ryan. Like, you know what I'm saying? They definitely paid the referee. The referee's helping him up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, baby, you got this. Look, I'm rooting for you. We all got money on you.
Holy shit.
A whole lot of money. So
no, that's how it looked, man.
Can you please like make it through the fight?
Yo,
funny.
That nigga said 5 twice. He said 5.
5. 6. All right, I'm going backwards now. 5, 4.
Oh shit,
man,
5.
That's funny.
Y'all cutting ass on my boy, man. I'm still a fan of him. Fuck y'all.
That's funny, man.
Listen,
I'm still a fan of him. Blair, I
don't
want to talk to you no more.
You know what I mean? Nothing that he didn't have easy, except for the Ryan fight that nobody saw coming. I even bet on Ryan. I mean, on Devin that fight. You know, nobody thought that Ryan had what it takes to really stop him. And
nah, you're right. He definitely did, man. He put him down twice.
Devin Haney is the kid that has it all. You know, he had all the promotion, all the money before even fucking like coming to boxing. He had all the love before he ever even got anything. So it just put. So the thing is, right? He doesn't really encompass what boxing really represents. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? He doesn't even.
You're talking about coming from the mud and
yes,
you know,
yes. Like the idea of
pulling yourself out through boxing, like great stories go for basketball players, some football players. Yeah, Devin Haney is not that guy to do an after school special movie about. Yeah, this is who he is. This is the son of, you know. My dad owns everything. He's the son of a rich kid. He's
like,
a rich kid, a trust fund baby to a certain degree. So At the end of the day, nah.
I ain't gonna call it nigga trust fund baby. That's
he's trust fund baby for sure. So the thing is this, bro, like his story will be easily forgotten. There was no drama, there was no action. He is just there until he's not there. And he will be easily forgotten. There is absolutely nothing that's inspiring at all.
Oh shit!
Dang, bro.
He passed away.
My question.
You will easily forget his name.
Oh,
but you can't say that about some of these other fighters. You can't say that about Blair Flair. You can't say that about Floyd Mayweather. He did come from the streets. He came from brokenness, from nothingness. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez came from nothingness. There's a lot of people, and all throughout boxing, Braddock's, fucking Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard, everybody came from the same struggles of nothingness to become something and give the inspiration to any and everybody all around the world that it doesn't matter where you came from, you can still end up somewhere special and be a star. And that's what boxing encompasses. Only the great people survive boxing. But now it's gotten to a point where boxing is just this rich kid plaything. Where like we got Jake Paul that just run through shit like and never really fight a real fighter and make tons of money. Where did boxing go? You know, right now I'm out here promoting myself as a UK fighter because America done lost their shit. They done lost their shit. We got these motherfuckers watching people slap each other.
Oh man. Oh man,
what happened?
Blair cooking, man. He cooking. I can't say that, bro. He cooking.
Man. Like damn.
Yo, I get it. UFC is cool, but it ain't great. It ain't boxing, dude.
It ain't boxing. It's not.
It ain't boxing, bro. Boxing has been through the foundation of everything ever. Yeah. World War II, Joe Louis, the Civil Rights Movement, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, like, yo, the 90s.
Oh, Sonny Liston.
The Great Depression.
The Great Depression, Braddock's. You know, the Cinderella Man. Like, yo, like the great underdog stories, the comeback stories. You know what I mean? Things that like you only think about in like comic books is made possible and real in boxing. It just doesn't happen in UFC or any other sport, honestly. It's just boxing.
You look at it like this. You get into a street fight with a boxer, dude, you're just gonna go home and take care of your lumps and shit like that. You get in a fight with a UFC nigga, and this dude either choke you out or kick you. You going back home to get your gun, and I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I think that's not good. Look,
no, I'm just saying. I'm saying it as a joke.
You get into a street fight with an MMA fighter, you get beat up. You get into a fight with a boxer, you're possibly never going to wake up. So that's the problem. Like, look, people don't die in UFC. They don't die in UFC. They die in boxing. You look, I've known like fighters that just like one clip, he knocked guy down. Never seen him again. Sleep forever. He never came back. You know what I'm saying? Like these, like shit. Boxers kill people. That's why they had to register their hands as weapons because motherfuckers will end up dying. If a boxer actually punches somebody with their fist, that shit is dangerous, man. I don't wish that on nobody.
Hold on, Blair. Unless you Paul Malignaggi, but go ahead, continue. I eat that shit. I'm like, Paulie, come on, bro.
I'll eat a Paulie Malignaggi punch every day, all day.
Yo, okay, I had a question.
Certain that I'm not losing a tooth on this one.
I have a question. I want to ask you something because it was about Devin Haney, but you cooked his ass. What do you think about him? I see he got Nate Jones with him and having Sugar Shane in his in his camp up there in Great Bear.
What about him?
I mean, do you think that gonna bring anything different out of him?
No.
Oh shit.
Hey, Blair,
Hold
Blair,
on,
I got
Blair,
a real one, Blair. Blair,
What's your
was
thoughts
I
going
was
into
in
this
Shane Mosley's
fight? That's
training
what I
camp
gotta
with
ask,
Manny
man.
Pacquiao.
You said what?
I'm very close to Shane. I was in Shane Mosley training camp as a kid for Manny Pacquiao. You know why?
Southpaw.
Closest thing to a Manny Pacquiao that they could possibly ever find.
Southpaw.
You know what I mean? It's
I'll
Southpaw
take it
with
around.
ridiculous power and speed, blinding speed. I'm so fast that like you didn't have to blink for me to disappear. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, in that whole instance, it's just yes, there's some great fighters, but they're not going to teach them anything outside of what they already know. And Devin Haney, I feel like he's topped out at his very best right now. He's never looked any better than what he is. You know what I mean? He's never going to be a puncher. The more he is, the more he gets hurt. The bigger he get with like the weight classes, the less effective he is. He's not able to do what he used to do. I remember when I sparred him back in the day, he ain't doing the same shit that he used to do. Why? Because he's not as light as he was before. You know what I mean? When he's light, he can do these fast little back steps to get out of the way and like kind of like play defense and wear you out from throwing punches and run and then finally run you into shots and like try to pick you apart when like you're tired. That was his game plan. But he can't do that as he goes higher in weight. He's becoming a man now, and no more childish shit. So now the whole thing is this: you have to actually learn how to actually punch too, or Scooby Dooby Doo. You're going to go.
Hey, Blair.
Damn, I can't.
Hey, Blair, what do you think about the Jose Ramirez pick?
Huh?
What do you think about them picking Jose Ramirez? What's your take on that?
Honestly, I don't even understand both of the fights. Rolly Romero was burnt out. Ramirez, I never even heard of this motherfucker. I haven't heard from him since he beat fucking Maurice Hooker off of fucking a bad fight. Like, you know what I mean? Maurice Hooker was like, I talked to Maurice Hooker after my fight because he was supposed to beat me. He was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at I watched those fights and I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't supposed to be around after the first and second round. Given what I've saw in the Ramirez fight and Maurice's fight, you ain't supposed to be around after I done beat your ass to pieces in the first two rounds. You're done.
But wasn't Maurice champ at the time?
I asked him about it, huh?
Wasn't Maurice champ at the time though?
Yeah, I asked him about it, and he said that he had a bad camp. It was short. It was late notice, and it was a bad camp for the Ramirez fight. In the Virgil fight, he had a broken hand. He never was as good as he was when he fought me because he had perfect hands and he didn't have to cut much weight. This motherfucker was a whole weight class above me, and we still fought. Like imagine fucking Connor Ben fighting the other dude, right? Eubank.
Yeah, Eubank Jr.
And Eubank came in 12 pounds heavier. 12 pounds heavier. And then just said, you know what? Fuck it. We still gonna get it. And I'll charge you a couple $, but then we still gonna get it. Let's go. I just don't want to change my gloves. All right, cool. That's because they banked on me losing. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't give a fuck about me, man. Like,
that is so true, man. And, you know, I'm glad you speak out about that because I tell people you can see the play with certain promotional companies when they got a guy they don't think will win or shouldn't win. I remember Sebastian Fedor, and people can go back and watch this fight. he lost before he actually lost. His first got knocked out. He fought Jamonte Clark from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I remember Jamonte. They both tall, so they big tall towers. But I remember that fight, and I think a couple days before, I see that they come up with the Latino title, this WBC Latino title, come out of nowhere. And I said, where did this come from? And this was never from the. Now they bring it out of strap. Now here's the thing: Germonte just had a fight before that where he fell out the damn ring. Now he lost. It looked bad. He got back and finished the fight, but he fell completely out the ring. So they was banking on Fedora to make this guy fall out the ring again, like just embarrass this guy. But Jamonte did so well that they had to make the fight a draw. They couldn't even take it from him. You know what I mean? They couldn't even take the fight from him. They had to make it a draw. And that, you know, stuff like that you see all the time. So when Blair is sitting there telling y'all he's a pro fighter and he's seen this and he knows what the play is, man. They don't be wanting you to win some of those fights, man. So you done been in 2 fights like that already, maybe 3.
I've been in a lot of them.
Yeah,
it all started in 2019. I fought this guy named Ferdinand Karubian. He was I was 16-1 underdog against an Armenian Olympian that was sold out Hollywood, full of Armenian fans, very aggressive fans.
Wow.
and you have my ass beating his ass to pieces. You know what I mean? And it ain't supposed to look that good because I haven't been looking that good in the last couple fights. And then I came out and I showed up and I beat the brakes off of him and said, "This is my city now." Imagine the niggerish shit like that. and then shortly after that, I had more fights that was just like that. I fought a guy named Robert Redmond from Texas that, like, I looked into him. They wanted me to lose to this guy because he was not just a pushover. He was like one of those guys, right, that didn't have like the promotion, but that was a serious problem. I looked him up. He had some really good experience in the amateurs and all that shit. I'm like, oh damn, so they trying to get me knocked off again? Not again. I stopped him. And then I fought another undefeated fighter in Villalobos. Now, this is the Mexican dude, and I'm fighting in his hometown. I'm fighting in Sandy Springs, which is his hometown. I'm supposed to lose to this guy, and then I win. But he did knock me down bad. Like, he knocked me down so bad, I had to turn. I lost Blair completely. It was just Flair. Like, I had to make it a fucking backyard of a back alley fight. You know what I'm saying? I had to take it straight to the streets.
He said it was just Flair.
I said, fuck boxing. It's over now. But I just swinging, just like, you know. And like, there was no way I was going to win that fight unless I knocked him out, which I did. And then after that, I fight some more fights just like that.
Yeah, they was you like him. I was like, yo, who this guy? This damn leather he out here like the Black Stone Cold Steve Austin talking shit. Who is this dude, man? They just keep letting him fight. And then I'm like, all right, I got to see, because he's just fighting all the damn time on his own. Like, he's on every damn, like, but after the Hooker fight, I was like, why he ain't fighting no more?
Yeah, well, the thing is this.
Like, the Rocha fight, you was so happy you lost. Everybody was like, "Yeah, this motherfucker, yeah, with the red hair, he lost, yeah." And then you fought Hooker. Oh, Hooker gonna beat his ass, and then
wow.
And then, and then it was like, well, hold on, I ain't seen Blair in a minute. What happened? What happened?
After the like before that, right? I fought Brad Solomon, which was a guy that
he was a vet
that Virgil fought. Very good vet, right? They gave him a whole lot of time to prepare for me and everything like that. He knew he was fighting me before I knew I was fighting him.
Wow.
They tried to make it as tough as possible for me. You know what I mean? To see how I do. And then, like, I end up blowing him the fuck out in tremendous fashion too, and in the exact same amount of time with less punches than Virgil Ortiz. So then they're like, okay, blase, like, okay, this is cool. Then they kind of just left me hanging for a while. Like, oh, we're gonna have to throw him off for a second. So let's just let him go crazy because he ain't making no money after years. Like, you know what I mean? And then finally I get the Rocha fight, which I didn't want in the first place because I'm like, bro, I need time to make this happen. You know, hold up. So I'm supposed to sell this fight with only 1 week?
I was glad you made that known. Like, motherfucker, they just called me the other day and talking about fight Rocha.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I was elevated to main event. I'm like, hold up, can I get main event money, bro? Like, hold up, like, can I get some main event money? Like, no, we ain't getting no main event money.
Nah, I need main event money, man. Come on.
I'm like, fuck, man. Well, I haven't had a fight in a long time. I need to make something happen. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Rocha fought before. You know what I mean? He's been fighting consistently. He never missed a meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, I'm missing shit. I'm all fucked up. Like, they like, you know what? I had to make a decision to just take the fight and just bounce back later. You know what I mean? Talk a whole lot of shit, prove my value as a showman.
Yeah,
like, you know, do what I do best and then take that L and come back better. Cause I knew as soon as I lost that fight, I didn't fucking feel it at all, bro. Cause I know how bitchy, I know how pussy fucking boxing is, bro. Oh man, soon as I lost, I was like, yeah. All right, now it's time to find a real trainer. At least I got a little bit of time. I'm about to find me a trainer. I'm about to get in shape. I got some money to invest in my training camp. I'm training. I'm like, oh, I bet. Watch, I'm gonna find it. Like, it's gonna be cool. Watch, blase. And they're like, okay, yeah. Now like Maurice Hooker. Oh, bet, perfect. Hopefully you guys pay me, but if not, it's okay. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna fucking win. And blase, and then like it happened. And it was only 3 months after the Rocha fight.
Yeah, it was real fast after the Rocha fight. They had you lined up for.
Yeah, I still had time in the year to pull off 1 or 2 more fights. And the whole thing is this: Golden Boy promised me Virgil Ortiz, like literally, like the day of the fight. like, look, man, you win this fight, we got Virgil Ortiz, and you're back on top. And it's like, okay. I'm like, bet. So now like it happened. And the thing is, me and Virgil Ortiz, when they made their prediction on who would possibly be a favor to win the fight, after looking at my fight with Hooker and Virgil fight with Hooker in the stipulations around such fight, they decided that they would not beat Blair the Flair, and they moved on and just kind of forget me and try not to like answer any of my calls. You know what I mean?
You was left on the shelf for like they just have. I was like, damn, we have no fights for you.
Because like we think about it like this: the Virgil Ortiz fight with Hooker. Hooker had a broken hand before the fight, and when Virgil Ortiz fight him, he barely got him down. And matter of fact, when Hooker stopped fighting, it was because his hand hurt. He didn't go down from a punch. He went down from throwing a punch and then falling because of the agony from his hand. And then they looked at my fight where he comes in big, strong, almost twice my size, you know, and fucking like ready to go. He had more than enough time to prepare, you know what I mean? And not only that, he had Terrence Crawford in his corner. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking have to beat Terrence Crawford too now. Fuck. You know, and like when things went south so fast and then stayed that way. See, the thing was, if he had got knocked out in the first 2 rounds and stayed down, it probably would have had more questions about me, and maybe the Virgil Ortiz fight might have happened. But something special happened that night, and that night, like, I shut the fight out by winning rounds and taking the whole fight completely, all the way from bell to bell. And that was the deciding factor that, like, yeah, Virgil don't have a chance. Because the one thing that they would probably try to see if they could catch me is like, okay, well, later on he phased because of look what happened in the Rocha fight. Well, that didn't happen, did it? And then, like, you know, so things happen.
It sounds like
some people think that you fade like that. A lot of people say that they like every time I bring it, like, man, my only thing with Blair is, man, he get tired and laid around.
And that never happens.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it in Florida.
That never happens. I never got tired in the later rounds. I might have been a little bit more cautious. You know what I'm saying?
So that one fight with Rocha, that just, oh man, he get tired.
I'm gonna tell you why I was a little cautious in the last couple rounds with Adrian Broner. You want to know why? Because Sean Porter. Why? Okay.
Yep, he can still crack. He can still throw.
Sean Porter whooped his ass all day long. Yep. He wasn't doing the shit that I was doing, like because he don't have a special punch. I had like a special weapon that I was developing to use on Adrian Broner. That move that knocked his tooth out, that tooth fairy move, I've been perfecting that. In the gym, my fucking sparring partner, I had to pay him extra money because he almost lost a fucking tooth. He had to go to the dentist. You know what I mean? It was horrible. Pow! Right in the face. Boom. But
very punch.
Yeah,
real villains have weapons, man.
Partner,
Real villains got weapons.
You know.
You know, listening to you tonight, Blair, I didn't know that you were so comfortable fighting. You know, with the odds against you. I didn't, you know, I was looking at the Maurice, you know, Hooker fight and just like, yeah, he been here before, but based on what you saying tonight, man, you comfortable in the bright lights when the odds is against you and you got a full training camp, man. Now you're a dangerous fighter, man, because you've been in that situation many times, and a lot of fighters sometimes don't have those opportunities.
That's all I know. Honestly, you know what's scary? When I'm not the underdog. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of afraid of that shit. I like it. Like for instance, check this out, man. When I started boxing, I was fighting in Mexico. Not Tijuana, bro. I was fighting in Guadalajara. Canelo was on my undercard because I was like the guy that everybody wanted to fight. I was the guy that they wanted to put me up against, like the biggest and toughest fighters that they could find, and Canelo wasn't one of them. You understand me? It was like that back in the days. And like, that's all I knew. All I knew was how to win fans. And how I won fans, even in Mexico, I won fans by fighting. I didn't have to fucking just show up like a lot of these other guys. Like, I didn't mind fighting against the odds, and a lot of times that's what I was doing, especially in Mexico. Like, bro, I'm like that one nigga that's not Mexican, and then they like, oh yeah, we can't wait. Let's see his ass fucking, and it's already bad enough they called me Apollo and shit, and they were just begging for a Mexican Drago to knock me out. You know, that never happened. You know what I'm saying? And I remember growing up as time was going through that time in Mexico, and Canelo turned pro before he ended up fighting me. They said fuck that shit, and they just ended up turning pro. They had a whole bunch of resources with the cartels that to push his career and get him a whole bunch of fights. And they were like, yo, bro, you need to just go ahead and take that fight. Like, see if you can get that fight pro with Canelo. You know what I mean? It wasn't Canelo at the time. His name was Saul. So I'm like, Saul. It wasn't that the kid that fought before me, the redhead kid. Yeah, blase. Isn't he small though? Like, you want me to beat his ass? He's like, yeah, just beat his ass. I'm like, nah, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not ready to turn pro. I need to know how it feels to be in America, man. Like, and like, you know, and that's how it went.
So, Blair, I know you said it wasn't a matter of of you getting tired and things like that in your fights. So you bringing on a nutritionist. What does the nutritionist bring for you?
Well,
Like
I never,
what would be what is the addition he would bring for you as you see it?
I don't know because I never had a nutritionist. I never had a nutritionist. I've had a really good strength and conditioning trainer and Coach Quincy and Wade. They did a tremendous job in the Broner fight. And then I also had Coach Cecilio that did work with Lomachenko and stuff like that. They did a great job. He did a great job in the Hooker fight. I don't know what a nutritionist could do for me, but maybe find a way to make me make 140. Like, I don't know.
Oh, all right.
But outside of that, man, like I make 47 pretty easy. I mean, I show up to the weigh-in fucking with people because I didn't have a hard time making a weight.
So the question,
I'll drink a bottle of water while I'm fucking with him and then eat a cookie in his face. You know what I mean?
so
And
let
then,
me ask you.
and then
So
fart in his face on the way to the scale. Like, you know what I mean?
so was it more of a rumor that you have a nutritionist, or do you have a nutritionist?
No, I never had a nutritionist.
Oh, okay. All right.
Would be nice though, but no.
Let me ask you this question, Blair. This was probably about 6 months ago. I know it was a couple months ago, but I inboxed you, and I was like, "Have you?" I said, "Man, I remember texting you. I said, man, you beat my boy Thomas Matias out of Cleveland," and your response was, "Oh, is he good? I don't remember." My question to you is, Thomas is decent, man. He's from Cleveland. He just lost to Ford. He didn't let his hands go. He's starting to decline because he's doing that in a couple of his fights. But Thomas Matias, he lost to Raymond Ford just not too long on the Boots undercard.
Oh man.
Yeah, he just lost. But no, my question was, man, as how many amateur fights did you have? And does most fighters have so many fights they don't even realize who they fought in the amateurs because they have so many fights?
Yeah, man. I don't know I don't know any of the people that I fought, man. You know what I mean?
Damn, okay.
I don't know anybody that I fought in the amateurs except
I was like, you came in Toledo. You beat him in Toledo, Ohio. You was in the back. You won in the backyard. I seen that on Box Rack.
Oh, in Toledo, Ohio. I remember
Yeah,
that.
you won.
Oh man, you want to hear a story about that?
Yeah. Yeah, you came in the backyard, man, and got that dub on my boy.
You want to see? You want to know how crazy I am, bro? Now I actually remember that fight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't remember him, but I remember the fight. You want to know something funny? I scared everybody out there, man. You want to know what I did?
Go ahead.
All right, bro. I get over there, right? And I'm getting hyped up. I'm like, oh yeah. All right. And then I just threw like 100 punch combination, like literally the moment I walked in the house, in the building. You know what I mean? And I threw 100 punches as soon as I as I got in the building. Woo! And then I did 100 push-ups, literally in their face. I did 100 push-ups. And I said, okay, who's gonna get it? Who's getting this ass whooping? I looked him straight in his face. He's like, oh fuck.
Oh, that is hilarious,
I'm
man.
like, oh yeah, I'm geeked up, baby.
Yeah, you got my boy, man. You got him. You got the dub. You got the dub in Toledo.
They're like, yo, this motherfucker is tripping.
That's funny. That's a good one, though.
Oh man. He'll tell you about it. He's like, oh man, this dude's crazy.
That is funny. Yeah, I saw that on his box rack, in his amateur rack. I said, man, I ain't know Blair came in the backyard and got that one in Toledo. Sure did, man. Sure good. A good one. I wish they had footage on it because I definitely would have posted it.
Hey, Blair, let me ask you this.
Stuff, huh?
Do you think, because I'm looking at it, man, it's not too many more. It's like you, maybe like T.O., the last of a dying breed when it comes to the showmanship in boxing.
Yeah. And, yeah, I believe so. And also, I'm probably the last of a dying breed of actually being real, coming from zero, nothing, no, like T.O. He robbed motherfuckers almost every night. I wouldn't be surprised if he robbed the guy Barbosa tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, oh yeah, he got robbed. Yeah, I see it. You know, he robbed like 7 guys already. You know, he just living off his name and just the simple fact that he's Puerto Rican. He's not shit.
Damn, man.
You know, yo, he would have lost. He would have won against Kambosos if Kambosos didn't completely just beat him the fuck up and knock him down. You know, if that fight was not as, like, let's say, notable, having a whole lot of things that happen, eventful fight, if it wasn't so eventful, they would have robbed his ass too. You know?
Damn. He said that man, he hitting them up, robbing everybody.
That man got robberies.
Well, that's why we appreciate you, Blair, because you keep it real, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, Blair. It's okay if you go out there and you just start bashing motherfuckers' skull in, man. Just pick a name and start your killings because everybody else is doing it. Now, I find it funny that a lot of people, they either play the accolade games, what did he bring to the table, or with the Ramirez pick, oh, he's former unified, blah. But then people play the names. So then I'm like, what about Blair? Oh, not that name. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how people play that name game, and then when your name come up, they be like, nah, not that name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, just start grabbing motherfuckers and pounding their shit in. If you got to do it over there in the UK and get what you got to get, that it's okay, man. Because a lot of people, instead of just sitting around waiting for these guys, because you 17-1, or you a tough out, a wild card. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to voluntarily just do it. So just start grabbing some people and just beating their shit in. Do that like 3 or 4. Because look at what Berlanga did. He just grabbed the nigga that did a 10-year bid after the Canelo fight.
Right.
Knocked his shit loose in the first round. And look at him. He getting home to Sherrod. So it's
No,
okay,
that's true.
man.
That's
It's
true.
okay. You
That
feel
is
me?
true.
Where has boxing went, bro? Where were these opponents when I was 10-0? I don't know.
No, he cooking, man. He telling the truth, man. That is
He said, that man said the nigga did a 10-year bid.
Then he went in 2014, he came out in 2024, and then they were like, look at this dude. And then he went to the weigh-in, the man had a muffin top, the nigga had a C-section. I'm like, Blair, get you one.
Just pregnant.
Get you one of them and knock his shit loose, and then you're gonna be right there. Oh, well, I'll take Blair. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, highlight reel.
You
definitely a show.
Sports Center, like.
One thing is certain, the manager that I have now is going to stay active. Is going to keep me active, and he has a lot of connections. He has a lot of connections to make a lot of things happen, and so I'm almost certain I'm gonna have a fight in the UK definitely before this year's up, and probably before July. You know, and it's exciting just to make sure that we got a lot of things lined up, because as soon as that happens, we just line them up. Just keep
absolutely
keep going. And shit, if I can knock off 3 fights this year,
that'll be dope.
It'll be great. Moving on to to calling out all of these top fighters. Hell, if I can get ranked up to like top 5 in the world, world title under my belt, a lot of special things is going to happen very, very soon. They cannot deny me. They can't, because before they were playing the name game, and then I got names. And then they wanted to play you don't sell, but then I do sell though. I'll prove it in 1 week. And then on top of that, they'd be like, well, you're not a main event fighter. I fought the main event 2 or 3 times already. All right. Well, look, where's your ranking at? Where's your ranking at? That's what fucking Boots and Eddie Hearns want to play. They want to play that shit now. Because you know I'm a sell. You know I'm probably a bigger sell than any other world title holder. Like, okay, so yeah, but you're not even ranked, blase. It's like, okay. So when I get that ranking, what the fuck you gonna say now? Oh, I'm in your ass. I'm in your ass.
I'm gonna say,
they can't stop you there, Blair.
But because I want to ask you this,
Blair with the real Flair, goddamn it, with the real Flair.
It's going to look very interesting because it's going to be almost like history repeated itself. Terrence Crawford was chasing Earl Spence over and over and over and over again. He chased him. He was persistent. He kept winning, and eventually that fight happened.
Yeah.
And everybody thought Earl Spence was going to mop the floor with this goddamn Terrence Crawford. And things did not go that way. So when Boots get his pussy fucked, it's going to be really interesting what the fuck happens. It's going to be really interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn.
That's what's going to happen. Eventually, like after I'm chasing, I keep winning. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh shit. Well fuck. All right. Let's fight. All right, fuck it. Let's fight. And like, all right. Watch. I wouldn't even be surprised if he got into an accident in Philly. Philly is fucking dangerous.
Damn.
You know it. His dumb ass get fucked up. He got shot, and now he got to fucking recover from his wound. And now, but he still wants to get the world title, so he's collecting world titles, and then boom, me.
Damn.
Hey Blair, did you see that Stanionis and Boots fight? What was your take on that? Seeing that,
I thought that Stanionis would probably do better, only for the simple fact that I had a lot of experience with him. And he's like a complete polar opposite of me. You know what I mean? So I had to act a little bit different towards him to completely checkmate him out of the fight, the sparring, and then beat him completely, which I did. But the thing is, I thought he had a little bit more. But then when I watched the fight and also realizing and like how I would address Boots isn't how somebody like Stanionis even is capable of doing. Stanionis can only move forward.
Yeah.
So when I watched the fight, and like I'm not going to take the fight away from Boots. I'm not going to say that that was a nobody. What I'm going to say is that he was tailor-made. Tailor-made.
I said the same thing about this come forward. I said that.
Bro, it was way too easy. It was so easy that it looked completely different compared to the Karen fight. And you know what's very interesting? The first Karen fight was really interesting because he was circling around, making him fucking switch his feet, catching him in between his fucking switching, catching him while he's trying to do this and get caught. Pow! You know what I mean?
Smoke. I was saying Blair was saying the same exact thing I was saying. He was fighting the guy that was giving him a generalship, and he was going in and out. Karen went in and out in the second fight. That's what threw Boots off. If you know where his kryptonite is, as I tell people, is that he likes you coming forward. When you start moving, making him think, that's the problem that you create for Boots. Boots he hasn't figured out the movement yet. And he hasn't fought a guy who gave him that again after Karen. Because Karen came inside when he thought he was gonna box again in the second fight. He said, no, I'm gonna come in and then I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna go out. You gotta mix it up with him.
I thought Stanionis would last 8 rounds, man.
I thought he was more durable than that.
The biggest kryptonite of Boots is Blair to Flair. The biggest kryptonite. Like the complete polar opposite of Boots to beat Boots would be me. I know everything he does. I know every move he make. And he knows absolutely nothing from me.
Gooch, if that's you, Brian Norman Jr. is already lined up to fight Jen Sasaki in June.
Oh, I think that's stupid. I think that Brian Norman should be fighting Boots as soon as possible.
He's already lined up to fight Jen Sasaki in Japan.
Yeah, I think that's a horrible idea. I think that he's probably going to end up taking a loss. Jen Sasaki's going to win, and
Damn.
And then guess what? Now we have a Japanese welterweight that's never happened before in the history of the world.
You think Brian Norman Jr. gonna lose that fight?
It's very. I wouldn't be surprised, would you?
I'm gonna say this, Blair. I'm gonna say this on that.
Like
I think
Top Rank.
That's
Top
it.
Rank wants to promote Japanese fighters right now.
Fuck have I been saying, bro? What the fuck have I been saying? I've been trying to tell these dudes about what's going on with Top Rank and Japanese fighters.
Top Rank is pushing Japanese fighters.
Yeah, they making huge investments. Look at the lower weight classes and look at just how many Japanese champions are there.
That fight is lined up
anyway, and then they kept pushing. Yeah. See, the thing is, you have to realize Top Rank is one of the old promoters.
Guess who else they behind at 140? And I'm telling you right now, watch the moves of Andy Hiroka, the only guy to beat Jin Sasaki right now. And Andy Hiroka is now ranked number 1. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, bro, they making moves.
Yeah, it's in Tokyo, Japan. It's on Thursday, June 19th.
I think when it came to Blair, I think Blair, not Blair, but Brian and Barrios is in a similar situation with their promotional companies. I think Top Rank don't really have faith in Brian because they would have headlined him in Atlanta. They would have, won a purse bid or whatever it came down to fight him at home. They don't. They say, hey, go ahead. Y'all want to fight him? Y'all pay him? Go ahead. We'll send him over there. So I don't think Top Rank is invested heavier than Brian Norman. That's just my opinion.
They're not. Top Rank is not very invested in black fighters.
But I would say this
at all.
If he goes over there and beats Jin Sasaki, that'll give them a reason to say, hey, wait a minute. There might be something here with this Brian Norman kid.
No. I don't think so at all. Nah.
You don't think so?
No, they're just trying to figure out a way to knock him off.
Yeah, to get the belt off of him.
But also at the same time, pay him.
Yeah, because
right now they can't sell him off to Poblano because Poblano don't fucking sell. He ain't shit. No, he's not a name. He never will be. Until he beats Brian Norman. So the whole thing is, Top Rank is trying to figure a way to sell Brian Norman to somebody else that they can actually promote and make money and revenue politically. So it's really playing with race and creed type shit in countries. That's how they play. That's how old promoters play. King's been doing it for years. Top Rank doing it for years.
Yep.
And hell, even Golden Boy's been doing it.
I'm not gonna question you on that argument because I'm not in the fight game like that. And you're about the closest dude that I could talk to, just like I'm talking to one of the boys and get an insight on it. So I'm not even gonna come up with some next weird ass question or follow up. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't mind it though, man. There's no stupid question, bro.
No, I'm just saying.
I've been a C student my whole life. Stop playing with me.
I'm trying to think of it and be like, you know what? Maybe I don't know. I just think that if he goes over there and wins, and the way the Japanese crowd is, if you go over there and beat one of their top guys, then they're gonna follow you because they got that warrior type spirit and all of that other kind of stuff going on with them and shit like that. So I expect him to pick up, if he goes over there and wins, I'm expecting him to pick up a large chunk and a huge portion in his fan base. But if he goes over there and loses, Jin Sasaki then becomes something unimaginable, the first Japanese welterweight champion in the 4-belt era, period, or just period.
I'm gonna say this, AC. I agree with you, but I think it has to be a great performance in order for him to draw that. I think him winning and the fight is not exciting. I don't think he steals the audience.
If he struggles and gets a win, no, he doesn't get a push.
I don't think he's gonna struggle. I mean, if he wins, he'll probably do it easily. And the whole thing is, nobody would give a shit.
Yeah,
Is the problem. And
especially in American soil on American.
yeah, and
yeah,
if he loses, his loss like created history with a people that has no place in 147 ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's
Sometimes
Hey, look,
spade a
he gonna
spade.
win.
So then
Look,
he soonly gets his ass whipped the moment he gets the belt. You know what I mean? And like, you know, obviously they'll just knock him off with another really good top rank fighter, and top rank would just try to keep themselves relative.
Yep, inside house fight, in-house fights. Yeah.
There probably won't be any like unification belts going on if Brian Norman doesn't get the fight with Boots.
Yep.
You know,
well, my opinion is, they should do their fights right now.
like seeing
The
niggas
Boots had
fight.
the opportunity.
They don't want us knocking off everybody else to prove that, you know what, maybe black people are the best. Like, you know, like they done seen it too many times. Like, okay, Jack Johnson, okay, Joe Louis, you know what, you niggas need to go. So that's kind of like
hey Blair, what about you and Josh Taylor? Like, cause he seemed to be fighting at 147 now.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. That's one of the top guys I've been calling out. We got Josh Taylor. We got a couple really good names, and that's in the UK to build up that UK fan base and also get that world status and pull off these big fights with the good old Turkey Al Sheikh and give them the true champion. You know, Ryan's not the true champion. Devin Haney's not the true champion, and TL is a pretend champion. Flair will do it.
Well,
hey, Blair, how you feel about like
You ain't got to rob nobody with me.
hey, Blair, how you feel about ring rust and you know, how's you staying in shape and working out, and like what's your regimen when you get this inactivity, because you experienced this where you're not active, they come in with you with these short plays, like these quick turnaround fights and stuff like that, short notice fights. You staying in shape and you know any concerns about ring rust when the opportunity presents itself?
No, not at all. I'm only getting better. I mean, I'm finally starting to get active and acclimated to sparring. So I might have some bad days, but outside of that, I'm getting in shape and I'm getting ready. And then when that call finally comes, I'm not taking nothing that's like 2-week notice, 3-week notice anymore. I'm not doing that shit no more. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take a real fight that I can actually promote, and I can actually have a real build up, and I can actually have a real camp. And then when I show up, I still show up with God. You can't beat God, bro. So when I get in there, you know, I'm like still fresh and so clean because I haven't had any like extra banged up damage. But like a lot of these other fighters, they do get a lot of banged up damage. Yeah, you've been consistently getting your ass whipped.
And follow up, Blair. I know managerial, you took that move, but what about coaching? You still keeping the same kind of coach around you, or what you?
Oh yeah, I got a great trainer, man. Man, it's hard to find a trainer like the one I have. To have one that's just 100% you, that has the experience to fucking take somebody from zero to Canelo. Fuck a world title. That shit ran through. Like, you know what I'm saying? From zero to Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's the highest level of experience and the highest level of dedication and commitment. You know what I mean? We done like created new weapons and new skills that's never been done before. I got a move that like I can't even tell you how it was done because it's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? It has the roll in all of this crazy movement. You know what I mean?
Like you've been talking about a finishing move. Like Body was saying that what's the name needed a finishing move and shit like that. Even Jahad Tucker and even Conor Ben was kind of talking about a finishing move. Blair over here working on Mortal Kombat finishing moves.
But what I've always told y'all, AC, what I always say, a good villain has weapons. You can't be no villain without no weapons. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 pillows and some
Man,
track
y'all
shoes.
gonna leave Devin Haney alone, man. Y'all gonna leave Devin Haney alone. Stop.
Hey, look, man. Hold on. Hey, look. Before I let Blair get up out of here, man. Anybody got anything else you want to ask Blair?
I'm gonna just say this. I'm not even gonna ask him nothing. I'm just gonna say this, Blair. I wish you nothing but the best of your career, man. You know I'm gonna be rooting for you all the way out of Ohio. I hope one of these promotional companies, man, sign you to the point where that you don't have to be the mega star. You can just be great, stable, put on great fights, like a Joshua Clottey, guys of that nature, where you just give us entertaining fights, man. And you always been entertaining, so that's the goal, man. Continue to get your bag, and we rooting for you, man. We definitely rooting for you on this panel.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Hey, Ohio runs boxing, one of the best. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on the smoke session.
Yes,
you know, and like, look, man, I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that's the guy. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that beat the guy and is that actually the guy. And the only way I can do that is by getting around and with some real people. Honestly, the only God can save me, you know, because like once I get involved with Turkey Al Sheik, that's bigger than all of these other promotions. And obviously, I do something that these promotions can't do. Put on real fights. They ain't been fighting, bro. We don't like they're having a whole lot of money pushed and thrown around for some tune-ups. After 2 years, I said fuck a tune-up. I think that we need real action. We need real fighters. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think somebody like Turkey Al Sheik would definitely appreciate that. Oh yeah, he's not even bullshitting. Like he'll really put on, you know, and then like make it good enough for everyone, you know. So I like, you know, it's great to know that I have a really good manager that has the connections that can make that happen. So stay tuned because there will be an ass whooping coming to a theater near you. So before I leave out, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and at Blair to Flair for more exciting content. Official BlairToFlair.com. Woo! Nobody does it better, baby.
Blair, man, I appreciate you pulling up, man.
For sure.
Salute, Blair, man.
Salute, man. Salute, man. And you already know.
It's the smoke session, baby. Episode 657, baby.
Flair season up here, man. Y'all know what it is. Fellas, what's going on, man?
That's dope, man. Dope, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man. Yes, yo. I don't even know how long, but salute the body for this. But this thumbnail right here. This one was fire, real quick.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What's good, man? Like, how y'all feel about like the fight? What? Shit.
Man,
tomorrow.
the more you listen to Blair, the more you like him, man. I don't know how people don't like Blair, man. The more you listen and talk to that guy, man, the more you root and get behind him. Blair is a perfect example of what I experienced with these fighters on behind the scenes, man. When you develop really great relationships with them and listen to them behind closed doors and get their real honest opinion, your perspective on the boxing game changes as you grow in the sport, man. And Blair is almost like, to me, he comes off as like the Tony Harrison of the 147 division, and he's entertaining. He's not just talking it, man. The dude can fight, but he definitely needs his opportunity, and I think that's the frustrating part when we get to see guys like that who win fights that he's supposed to lose, and all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, wait, we hold on, we're gonna put you right here. Like, nah, man, get this dude in. He's fighting. Like, I hate seeing that, but I enjoy his wisdom, man, on the game and him being able to share it, on the panel with y'all, man.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, you know, I never even thought of the whole thing that they're looking to sacrifice Brian Norman Jr. I never looked at that angle.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
You
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
feel
that's
what
what
I'm saying? So it makes perfect sense when you really look at it because he wasn't supposed to be the guy that he got the belt from.
Right.
Well, he didn't get the belt. He got elevated. I think
Nah,
Brian.
he fought. He's the only one
Nah,
at
he fought
47
for the
that fought.
belt.
He fought for his belt.
He won.
Nah.
He fought the number one guy. He did. They did it the right way with Brian. But
Yeah.
they did it the right way. They elevated him because he beat the number one guy. But every fighter got elevated. Brian never got that moment here and the new inside the ring. Every fighter at 147 that was champion was elevated, and I didn't like that.
I thought Brian was the only one that fought for his belt. Like the night that he fought the number one guy, they said, "Yeah, the winner of this fight will become the WBO champion."
Yeah.
That was because Terrence Crawford was still the champion, though. He didn't drop it at that time.
Oh, okay. So he won it in the ring, but he was elevated because Bud was still holding on to the belt.
Absolutely. That's why I said he's the
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's context to it. I
yeah. He's the only one though. That's why I said I respect that when you fight the other guy in your division that's ranked in that sanctioning body, that's fair. But if you just elevating guys because they they right there they right behind whoever, you don't get the guy. The number two guy should be able to fight for the vacant title.
Yeah.
But it's the politics behind it. I wouldn't, and this is what I said too. And you can go on, AC. I didn't call Devin champion when he was being avoided and ducked. I didn't call him champion when they gave him the belt. I didn't call Boots champion when they gave him the belt. I didn't call David Benavidez. I said when they fight, whoever they fight and win, I can call them champion because they have now fought to get that belt. I don't respect you giving me something that I didn't earn. Don't respect that. I don't think we should even start entertaining guys who just the champion because not only that, you steal the moment from them.
Yeah.
Devin and Boots should have heard in the new inside the ring. They should have heard that in the ring after they won their fight, no matter if it was knockout or won by decision. They earn that. How can you sit there and tell people on your first world title, you sitting there telling them, yeah, I got an email. I was in the bed with my girl and I looked and the email came up saying you have been elevated.
Come on,
man.
That legacy goes back to, we could thank the Canelo Alvarez's for that because
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
And Lomachenko.
Absolutely.
And then Lomachenko was second, and then the people just said, you know what? It is what it is. But
we got to have a standard on it and a criteria so you won't pick and choose fighters. That's why I said people was on my timeline on Facebook talking about how you hate David. He's being ducked. I said, bro, I'm not hating David. This is my criteria with every fighter. I don't care if he's from Ohio or not. It's not calling you champ because somebody emailed you and say you elevated. You don't want to win it that way. And most of them who got elevated, here's the politics behind it. They had big promotional companies behind them for the sanctioning fees. You think Albert Bale or Blair gets elevated when they ain't signed to a big promotional company?
No,
absolutely not. They gonna have to fight for the vacant belt against a guy that's signed to a big promotional company. They're not elevating guys in the rankings who all of a sudden is just right there to be elevated, and he was just at the right place at the right time, and he signed the Golden Boy or he signed the Matchroom, and ain't that so? All of them signed a big promotion. Barrios elevated. Who he with? Stanionis elevated. Who he with? How's he? That's sanctioning fees, buddy. Ain't nobody. They don't care about you fighting for it. It's about the paper, and that's what I expose because that's what they're doing. It's supposed to be the 1 and 2 fighting for that vacant. Adrian Broner had to fight for the vacant. They pick and choose when to use the rules. Broner had to fight for a vacant in Cincinnati.
IBF the only real one that enforces their rules for real, which I don't even really know though because IBF is the only one.
Yeah, Boots got elevated, but after he dropped it. But I just felt like they should have. And you got to look at the rules too. I think whoever was the other guy in that number 2 spot should fight for the vacant title. But the reason why they won't do that and they won't push that in the media, because 9 times out of 10, the number 2 will be in the same position Albert Bell was in. And I don't know if y'all follow Albert Bell, but the WBO completely wiped him off the rankings list because he was not signed to any big promotional company, when yet he was the number 1 mandatory for damn near almost 2 years for the WBO.
That's crazy work. And that's crazy, man. Like, just listen to the you guys chop it up in Blair. It's kind of crazy how like it matters what promotion you have, you know, with how good you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really sucks, you know, because there's some guys that should be ranked, and if they are ranked, they're really touted low. You know what I'm saying? And you really hate to hear it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So let me say it like this. When it comes down to shit, to what y'all talking about, I see it, you know, I'm always going to relate things to where my passion lies, and that's in cooking. You got these restaurants nowadays that
Yeah.
are coming out and they're saying that they gained 3 Michelin stars, the highest level of stars you can get in 4 months or 6 months. Meanwhile, their previous restaurant that they worked at, it took over 10 years for them to get 3 stars. Now that they moved into a heavily tourist area, they automatically got 3 stars in several months. And Michelin's own rules are it takes at least 1 year to properly judge a restaurant. So how the fuck is like so far like 6 restaurants within 2024, the middle of 2024 till this in 1 year? You got at least 6 restaurants that got 3 stars in less than 1 year.
Yeah, and
People are
I can
paying.
relate it.
They're playing a game. It's putting asses in seats, increasing the money potential, whether it's for the venue, for the city, the state, whatever the fuck, the country, don't matter. That money shit is really, really talking right now. And if you ain't got money or machine behind you, or money making machine behind you, then you ain't shit.
It's
just
crazy
like
you say
music.
that.
It's just like music. And see how they do these
I
artists,
was
man.
just
Like it's the same thing. If you're not signed to one of them, you know, if you're not signed and they can't control you, because I think this was like 4 interviews ago when Blair was on here. We were talking about that, and we were saying, I asked him specifically. I said, do you think it's because you're not signed with none of the majors and they can't really control you? Because think about it. They like what Devin did, that's kind of like an anomaly now. He was jumping from major to major. But they're not gonna let you be independent and have that belt, and then they don't have like no strings attached to you where you could just float around. They're not. That's like a nightmare for them companies to make money and have fighters in that ranking system. They got to be able to like have some kind of clause in your back and some kind of strings on you to kind of like, because think about what T.O. said. T.O. was the first one that really opened my eyes up to it, because he was the one. Remember when he tried to buck the system? And he was doing that stuff with Top Rank, and then Bob had to spank his ass. You know what I'm saying? But he was the first one to let me know that when you win, you probably gonna have like at least 2 or 3 more fights. So yeah, you can win that belt, and you thinking it's all good. I got that belt. You're not gonna be able to parade that thing around like a 1-man band. You know, you're gonna have obligations after that. And then when you fill them obligations, that might lead to another belt by like the 3rd fight. So then you got 3 more fights. And if they can't control any of that, they're not gonna let you even get in there.
Yep.
But Jay, what was it you trying to say?
I think that was Big J. That was you trying to say something? Big J? Was you trying to say something?
Jay.
I don't think he on, but no, I agree with Body what he just said. I think I said the same thing with Terrence Crawford. That's my guy. Y'all know that I've always been rocking with Terrence. When he first became a free agent, he was a champion. And what he did, and I say this all the time, I was surprised. I seen him go to the sanction of the WBC convention, and he tried to mandate a fight with Earl Spence through the sanction bodies the same way Bob just did with the WBO with him and Sean Porter. So he's learning the game too. So he had asked to do that, and Maurice Sullivan asked him. He said, "Oh, who's your promoter? We'll do it, but who's your promoter? You can't do that without a promoter.
Yeah.
He said you can't ask for no mandatory. Who's your promoter? I was like, wow. As a free agent, you can't ask for a mandatory. You got to have a promoter to be the intersection in the middle of that, to be the mediator. So you can't get it until you sign. So this is why you see certain fighters. All y'all have to do is look at the rankings. When you see a fighter that you ain't never heard of, all of a sudden move up to the top 4, or he moved to the top 3, and you're like, who is this? Then you'll see headlines. Top Rank just signed that unknown fighter you just seen at the top 3, a 3-fight deal. Why? Because he got to get the opportunity to fight for a world title.
Bro.
And if he
Martin.
wins, we are in ball. We in play.
Bro, you got Josh Taylor fighting Iko Usman, and both of them niggas is ranked higher than Blair in the WBO. And they got a fight coming up. Who the fuck and why the fuck is like Josh Taylor up here now? It took you long enough, bitch. Who the fuck is this other nigga?
Yep. And it can't be trying to justify, well, they ranked in the top 5 or he ranked in the top 10, bro. Where he came from? Like, stop that. And those was honest questions. They did the same thing, and he's a good fighter. I hate to bring him out but they did the same thing to Chocolatito. I think Chocolatito was a good fighter, but I hated how he came on the scene after he already had about 30-something fights. He had about 33, and all of a sudden, Top Rank signed him. They say, oh, yeah, this is the number 1 pound-for-pound king, and people ate that shit up. I mean, we had legendary boxers who are opinions, who I respect, talking about Chocolatito. That's all you need is those guys who are to give you validation of something that might not even be real. And we even had discussions, which we shouldn't. Andre Ward, who was proven, you had discussions with Floyd Mayweather saying, no, I don't think Ward should be there. I like Chocolatito. Are you out your damn mind?
Yeah, Floyd.
We really having these conversations?
I don't know why Floyd never wanted. He always tried to like distance himself from like Andre.
Yeah, so that was my thing. Was it's brilliant on the marketing tip with a promotional company how they're able to do that. I don't never down that, because I think that's brilliant to do that. I see the tactics that Top Rank, Matchroom, and a lot of them use. I even said that with Bob Arum. Y'all remember when Bob Arum sat there and told he said, and some of y'all might have forgot this. He was at a press conference with Keyshawn, and he said, yeah, Lomo will be his next fight. He's fighting Loma next. Now, we knew darn well he wasn't fighting no Loma next, but he mentioned it just to bring his name up there with Loma. That was a fighter that's in-house, Top Rank. He did the same thing with Jared Anderson when he said, yeah, this year we're going to fight Deontay Wilder. Do you remember that, Smoke?
Yeah.
Remember when Bob said, we're going to fight Wilder at the end of this year? Jared had to be around 7-0. People was making articles like, oh, Marcus, you should Wilder be a good. I said, man, that is a cross promotion tool.
Word.
Don't fall for that. That's a great thing to do, but it's nothing to even take and eat with it. Yeah, like you got to see some of the tactics they use. That's how you're able to look at a lot of this, and you don't fall for a lot of things. You know what I mean?
I got a question, Ohio, for you.
Yeah,
man. You don't be up here, man. Look, man. I just seen this whole play out, bro, and our guy, I guess he might have had a bad night at the office, man. Bad news. But do you peep the move that just happened, bro?
I seen that. You talking about the one where the guy that beat him now fighting for a world title?
Yes, bro. I'm that's the grimiest shit. So look. Mm-hmm. I was saying, look, the same thing they were saying about Norman, because Norman was catching all this flack over that fake ass offer, that ghost offer. I call it a ghost offer to Conwell, ghost offer to Norman, because Cameron was already going to be fighting, right? But
right.
Look, Xander was up to bat, and I'm like, okay, they didn't come to agreement. They said you got 30 days, and it's gonna go to purse bid, and they gave him an extension. I'm saying, okay. They said the key thing was money and location. Now I'm thinking, okay, now I know Xander got a little fan base, right? But the man, he ain't sniffed the title, bro. Right. And I'm like, how much could he be doing? Because I remember Norman was getting slandered. So I'm like, you're gonna let this thing go on and on. Like, what are you really asking for? So I'm thinking, okay, it's still gonna get made. I had my fingers crossed because I wanted Xander to get a shot with Virgil, but I wanted to see this Fundora. I wanted, Xander to get a shot, even though I thought Fundora was gonna win. So Conwell loses. So now they saying Fundora's gonna drop the strap, and that dude Chino is gonna fight somebody. I don't know if it's gonna be Xander or not. I'm like, it's real convenient that they wait for bad news to have a bad night, and now boom. So now he gonna get done like Blair. Now they might be thinking that he fooled, or they see something so the next man can come in there or whatever, and they will get an easy fight, or they could or they could use it like, oh well, he's out of the way. What has he done? Do him like Rashidi and do him like they did Blair, where it's like they put him into obscurity unless he has somebody to push him. But I'm like, I'm watching this whole move unfold. I'm like, that's grimy as hell.
No, you was about you on it, and I'm gonna say this: a lot of people didn't know this, and I think I told Smoke. People didn't know that this was Charles Conwell's last fight with Golden Boy. He refused to sign. People didn't know that. Yeah. A lot of people didn't know that was his last fight. He was having plans to go with Turkish, and they were supposed to be lining up for the WBO after this fight. My thing was, I said before the fight though, that I talked to a couple people. This was a trap fight based on the style, Charles Conwell's style and this guy's style. Now he lost 4 fights, but see, you got to pay attention to everything. He lost 4 fights unanimous by getting outboxed. He's a pressure fighter just like Charles. And the only thing, my problem with Charles is sometimes when he fight on the inside, if he can't hurt you and you are a volume puncher, guess what? You're going to have a 115 to 113 type of fight for Charles, or you're going to have a 115, 113 for his opponent. That's the type of style he has to learn how to box and get out of there once you can't hurt your opponent. Charles have to make the fight easier, like the other 4 opponents who beat his opponent when he lost the unanimous decision. That's one my thing. So if it's close and you're not signed to the promotional company, I'm not saying Golden Boy took it from him. I'm not going to sit there and say that, but I'm not surprised that he didn't get the nod after he's been, he's been trying to get in the position for a long time, and all of a sudden, Golden Boy, who was never pushing him, I mean, he got to the co-main event based off someone getting hurt. You get what I'm saying? So, I seen that I seen that play, but that's you definitely got your eyeballs on the right crazy situation, because he is gonna be fighting Zion. He's gonna be fighting him for that world title. If Charles would have won, I think they would have made some other type of moves, and that's just how the politics works now. There's we moving him out the way, and so I wonder. I think they was talking about Charles was talking about a rematch, so that's what they were screaming, rematch. But it looks like that ain't gonna be in the play for and they gonna have him fighting for they trying to give Zayas that world title. So that's gonna be real interesting to see how that play out.
You talked to Charles since the fight?
Yeah, man. I talked to no, I haven't talked to Charles. When fighters lose close fights, I let it die down. Sometimes I made a week. I let it die down a week. I already talked to certain coaches that talk to him and certain things like that. Close Ohio family members. I don't want to be the what me and him talk. We talk more about what did you see? How was you feeling that night? I don't want to go into everything because I'm definitely gonna give my opinion on what I think Charles should do up in his next, or what he should work on. But that's when he really, if he asked me for that. But no, I haven't talked to him, and I was gonna call him today. To be honest, I was gonna call him today, so I'm definitely gonna talk to him tomorrow, man. So I'll talk to him tomorrow and get his perspective on what was the problem and what he needs to work on. Because I told Smoke this. I don't know if I told Smoke this, but Charles Conwell has to be able to deceive bad news. Bad news comes in. He's a pressure fighter. He wants to fight on the inside, but he has to be able to set up bad news. Similar to Sean Porter. Sean Porter knew how to deceive Showtime. See, Showtime, he didn't show you Showtime all the time. That's what he wanted to get, but Sean knew how to box and set up Showtime. So he knew how to mix it up. He knew how to go in and out. I think Charles has to learn that because he's an inside fighter. You have to give different looks, and that's one of the reasons why, in my opinion, why Boots picked him to go up to 154, because you got to